Tell me a little more about civic engagement.
So basically the students were asked two main research questions throughout their 3 weeks here. And the first one was, what is already going on in this neighborhood regarding grassroots sustainability efforts? What are the assets of this neighborhood and are they being utilized? How? And to what degree are local groups already interacting with one another? The students self-selected their own neighborhoods. We've been partnering with Transition Chicago, and they gave us a list of 10 neighborhoods that they needed help working with. And so the students kind of had a choice of 5 each, and they picked one neighborhood to work with. Since 3 weeks is a very short period of time, they worked within these neighborhoods and worked on asset mapping and answering this first question. The second couple of weeks, or the second and third week of the program, they spent their time answering the question is, what is the process that will enable this neighborhood to select its best examples of local initiatives and sustainability efforts to be highlighted in the 2012 Sharing Approaches That Work event? And essentially, we are going to have the Share Fair in celebration of our 50th anniversary with Chicago's 77 neighborhoods coming together, sharing approaches that have worked at sustainability efforts. And these students, we want it to be something that is community selected. We don't want outside people going into a community and saying, this is what's working, this is what's going on. So we wanted the students to wrestle with the idea of how do you get a community to self-select what the best initiatives in the area are. And so they were working not only with Transition Chicago, but also with the 50th anniversary celebration.
So how do you do it? How do you get a community to self-select?
Well, they first started out with all the assets. So this was for Bronzeville, is one of the neighborhoods they chose, and the other neighborhood here was Pilsen. And so they went and they talked to a bunch of different local organizations and found out what they were up to and did a lot of work in the field, and we taught them different methods of one-on-ones or canvassing and different tools they can use to kind of figure out what's going on in the community. In terms of the answer to the question you asked of how do you enable, they came up with about 5 or 6 suggestions each in their paper.
Could you tell us one? Put you on the spot here?
I'm not sure that I can tell.
Okay.
Well, so we did have, we had somebody by the name of Chuck Templeton here telling us about OSOE, which is a social networking tool that allows for people in the community to communicate at the block level, at the neighborhood level. And it's a pretty interesting tool. And so some of the students talked about that in their paper. But what was interesting is they put forth a lot of suggestions, but it became very clear that there's no real one right way to do it. It's kind of, everything has its limitations, and so kind of going with what you can do best. Given our staff, given what the time we have, what we could do best is what we ought to do. So.